Well, the fortunate part of where we are right now in the world of said technology, like in the world of being a consumer, existing, we can't get away from technology. Technology has infiltrated everything we do. You know, children now at age 7, first thing, when do I get my phone? Not a if, but when. Yeah, that's the question. So it's not if, it's when, regardless of age. And this is regardless of country.
Both my parents are from Jamaica, and education was just very important, right? And every child in our community, really, it was just, you're going to college. It was a big thing to be a doctor or a lawyer or what have you. I don't think engineer was necessarily on top of the list, which I became, but there was a very big push to be a professional in some form of fashion.
The most important thing I think you can do as a young person, so I'm going to speak to a couple different groups here. Young person in our community is to become an expert, to be skilled in whatever it is that you are desirous of pursuing. And that takes countless hours, and in some cases it's outreach for knowledge and information, and in some cases it is building a learned capability. And to me, there's no substitute for that. The gift of gab, there's no substitute for becoming an expert and being the best at your craft.
Especially my father, when we were even, I can remember in first grade, when I would come home and he would have math for us to do, in addition to whatever we do at school. And I was talking to my son last night, and he was like, Dad, you used to make us do times tables and all this stuff. Even then I was always mad because I was like, I finished my homework and I have more work to do. And then you give us other stuff to read. It's like, I'm going to school twice.
All of my friends, their parents were astronauts, and almost everyone around in our community were in the technology or medical field. And so I was always inspired and interested in the sciences and in STEM fields because it was just all about me.
So I started in the oil field, engineering type work, doing facilities type work. I learned very quickly that I liked to design and build things, because 2 years in I was building a new facility up in Poplarville, Mississippi. But over the course of my career, it has, I would say, changed and weaved a little bit, which is pretty normal within the Exxon and now Exxon Mobil world, in that you get a lot of different assignments as you move throughout the course of your career.
I'm a natural problem solver. I'm one of those strange kids, and I guess I'm a stereotype, who would take his toys apart at Christmas and put them back together, and luckily most of the parts always went back and I didn't have a lot left over, so I figured that was good. Not just in terms of putting things together, but I also like systems. So being an industrial engineer, you start to understand how companies, you start to understand how manufacturers, you start to understand how people all operate as an interconnected system, and then what are the things that you can do in order to optimize that system.
The way I look at that is that I need to pay it forward. I need to give back. I need to be able to reach back and help others in the way that I was helped. Because I've been given a platform, I've been blessed to be put in a position that has positioned me to be able to do that. And so therefore I look at it as this is therefore my responsibility to be able to reach back. That's why I'm a lifetime member of NSBE. I'm the sponsor at Dell for NSBE. We go there every year, we recruit, we hire people. Both interns and full-time, and I just love seeing the energy of the next generation of engineers, being able to pass that on.
My freshman year at UCLA, I got an opportunity. I said, you know what, I'm going to take a programming class. It was back then a similar language, sort of old school. But the thing that changed for me is the first assignment I remember having. I went in, I always had, I was trying to stay disciplined, sort of eat your dinner and then go and study at night. And I had a lab, and I went into the lab, and I remember going in around 6, 7 o'clock at night. And when I came out, I was looking around campus, and it was strange because there weren't very many people on UCLA's big campus. And I didn't realize it was after 2 a.m. and I hadn't gotten up to do anything else, barely get some water. And that's when I knew it. I was like, man, if this is a career, if you can do something that will pull you in like that, And at that time, I knew we could make some money at it. I was like, that's for me. So that was the beginning.
If you're not willing to work hard, it's not for you. But I would encourage kids to read up on the devices that they're using, try to discover how they're being creative. And I'm one who always wanted to create new things to help change the world. And part of what I was trying to do, and the reason I got into this tech, I knew that IBM was someone that was out there that was making a difference, sending people to the moon, curing cancer. And those are the type of things that I wanted to get into. So if you're interested in having a big impact on the world, technology is part of everything we do on a day-to-day basis.